Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Shiv. Hello, if you're coming back then welcome. In today's video I am doing this dramatic look right here which I'm completely obsessed with. I can't hold it in any longer. I have to tell you how obsessed I am. I keep doing these weird hand movements at the moment. I don't know what's going on with me. But I am using the Sample Beauty Volume 2, the Equalizer palette, which looks like this. Just as a little close-up. I will do a close-up shot for you later in the video, but I use this palette to create this look right here. So if you'd like to see how I created this look and kind of a few thoughts on the palette throughout the video, then please carry on watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I upload a new video. Follow me on my social pages. I'm shivonmakeupbiz on everything. Let's just carry on with the video. So today I'll be testing out the Sample Beauty, the Equalizer palette Volume 2. I've had this since launch. We're catching up with content now. I'm very excited. But this is the ultimate like smoky evening palette. Like when the UK are allowed out of their houses again, I'm sure this would be the ideal palette for going out for cocktails or going on a date, you know, or anything like that where you just want to like really look your best. I think this is the absolute perfect palette. You also do get a white and a black in there, which I think is a really nice addition to the palette because you can mix eyeshadows if you want to as well, and then you have some beautiful shimmers. It's designed in a way that is like this shade matches this shade, this shade matches this shade, this shade matches this shade. I would read out all the names, but there's a lot of them, so just read out a few. So for example, you've got like this bright orange here, which I did use, called Tan, and then this shimmery orange here called O'Clock, then this one called Whispering, that one's called Angel, and so on and so on, which is quite a cool little concept and makes a palette a bit of fun really. But I do think this palette is absolutely beautiful, and you get a nice variation of shades as well, all very nice warm tone. I think it's a really beautiful palette actually, and even though I probably have these shades already in other palettes, of course, I would definitely recommend this palette, and I don't regret buying it because it's really pretty. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into the tutorial. So the first shade that I'm going to take is this one right here, which is called Love, which is a nice like warm brown matte kind of shade. It looks like it has a little bit of like a burgundy tint to it, like very slightly. So I'm going to take that as my first like deep transition shade, and I'm just taking it on this little brush from Morphe. It came with one of the like brush sets, like it doesn't have a number or anything, it's just a really small kind of blending brush. Just loaded up my brush with the product. I'm just going to make sure there's no like creasing on my eye from the base. I've done my brows, and today I use the Pink Honey Wonder Wax, the fudge one, which is slightly tinted, and then I just primed my lids with the P. Louise base in Room number 2 as per usual. Why is it called Room number 2? I feel like, do the other colours have a name? I'm confused. Anyway, so I'm gonna start by just popping this in the outer, like, oh, look at that pigment. Yes. So I'm just popping this kind of along the tape, and I put tape down just so I have a really sharp edge. I don't always do this, but I just feel like my makeup looks more put together when I do the tape method. So I'm going to do it more and just not be afraid to like do it in a lot of tutorials. I just really like the way it looks. Okay, so I am going to bring this all the way through the socket, and because I've got a wet, like not wet but like tacky base down, I don't want to start blending straight away, so I'm just going to start by really pushing that into the socket. It's going a little bit too high, so be a little bit more precise. But look at that pigment though. Do you know, I've been so excited to try this palette, and it's just been ages since I originally have bought it. Just as a heads up, I will mention throughout the video, just as a reminder, you can get, I think it's 10% off. I think it's 10% off at Sample Beauty's website with my code, which is shivonmakeupbiz. Just enter it at checkout. That would be cool if you want to get yourself some discount on some Sample Beauty products. They are amazing, and they're really like good at engaging with people on Instagram, which I always really like in a brand, because I feel like they're paying attention to their like consumers and what products they like and everything like that. So as you can see, I've just taken it through the socket. I'm just going to now start moving the product with the brush just to make sure it's nice and smooth. So if you see what I mean, it's got a slight reddy tone to it, which is perfect because I'm going to be doing like orangey tones on the main part of this look. It's so rich and gorgeous. Make sure that outer corner is really dark. And yes, I'm going to be doing a half cut crease. I can't help it. It's just the easiest way for me to test out shadows because I feel like you can get like the most use out of the palette and how many colours and everything. Okay, so now that's kind of on there. That was so easy to do. Super pigmented. We love. So that shade was gorgeous. Now I'm going to take the shade Whispering, which is quite a unique colour actually. It's right here and it is this kind of like muted coral colour, like it's quite unique, and I'm going to use that to blend out this reddy brown, and I'm going to be taking that on a Peaches Makeup PC47, which is like a small blending brush that has a little bit of density to it, and go into the shadow. And I'm just tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to start with this kind of like inner section, and I'm just going to blend that on top the Love shade. It's a little bit over the top of the edge, like sandwiching the edges of this Love shade with the bit of skin that doesn't have like any shadow on it. Just kind of like tap the shadow on to start off with. It's really pretty. It's a little bit more coral on the lid, but also the base does help to intensify it. Just to let you know guys, when I hit 10,000 subscribers, which has been a huge milestone for me for many years to be honest, I'm going to invest in a new camera that autofocuses. So if I do this or this it's still in focus because my camera doesn't do it, and it's a little bit frustrating because if I move like slightly out of way it unfocuses me. So it will be a great upgrade to my videos, and I'll also like film Instagram videos on them as well rather than using my phone. I mean, it will just up my content like massively, but I feel like I want to have a goal before I go ahead and invest in a new camera. So when I hit 10k guys, quality is gonna go up. It's a long way to go, but we can do it. We can do it if you put work into it. I feel like quite positive about this year. I just wanted to say that. It is the 8th of January when I'm filming this video, and I don't know, like last year was really tough, like really tough. I feel like COVID impact cut me off on my little talk about life. COVID impacted me in so many ways. It impacted so many people, of course, but the only problem I feel like is when you say everyone else is going through it. Yes, it's nice to know that you're not alone, but it kind of makes you feel like you're not allowed to feel a certain way. So yeah, basically COVID impacted me massively last year. It affected my relationships, it affected my job, it affected my mental health, it affected friendships and like family relationships as well. And like there's been positives from it, like I've had way more time to create content and everything, but where everything else has been a struggle, it's just been really hard. So I feel like I had like an epiphany almost, that I was like, you know what, COVID or no COVID, I'm gonna make this year the best year yet. And I know that's like so stereotypical and like super boring, as in like everyone kind of says that, but I really do feel like you can make this year what you want to make it. And there's going to be challenges. COVID is impacting everyone in finances, in relationships, mental health, etc. But I just really feel like I really want to give myself that mindset to like wake up every day, or at least maybe 6 days a week. I'm trying to have like a day off on a Sunday and wake up just with that like spring in my step, like ready to be excited for the day, like no matter if I'm having a boring day, like not doing anything, and just make the most of things. So yeah, I'm just gonna really try and make this year super positive, like no matter what the situation. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to come across troubles or I'm not going to have a down day or anything like that. I'm just going to really try and just make the most of everything. So yeah, that's my little epiphany about this year. But I do feel super good about this year and just everything going on. But I hope that everyone is well. I know this, like I said, this year has been a massive struggle, so just know it's gonna get better. It really is. I feel like the UK is going through a struggle right now, but this might be like our peak, and then hopefully if the vaccine kind of works, cases will go down and we can kind of regain some form of normality and people can see their loved ones again. So we will get through this, guys. I promise. You can do it. We're all in this together. Actually watched High School Musical the other day. Anyway, enough of my sort of catch-up pep talk. What I'm doing is just taking the shade Love on the same brush that I used earlier, and I'm just going to start by kind of re-intensifying that crease area and just bringing it up into that whispering shade, just in little wiggling motions. This will take some time because they're quite different colours, but just remember with these kind of looks, when you cut the crease, it's going to look so much better. This is just like the base layer of the look. Taking my brush and doing little wiggly motions to move that up into that whispering shade. And then I'm just going to go back to the whispering shade and then just re-layer that on top. Like so. And now, as the finale kind of for the crease, I'm going to take the shade, well not the crease, just like the upper area. I'm going to take this bright orange shade called Tan right here. I'm now going to take it on a Morphe M562 brush, which is a skinny blending brush. Just dip into the shadow and then use this to blend out that whispering shade. Okay, I didn't realise how pigmented this would be. I don't know why. Obviously Sample Beauty's palettes are super pigmented, and I've said in previous kind of review videos of their palettes that their pigmentation and like performance of the shadows just get better every time, and it's so true. But yeah, I actually really like this. It's like super like fire vibes look, and it's okay that it's touching the brow bone. We're gonna roll with it. I was gonna put like a face powder just on the top to blend it out, but I actually think I'm gonna leave it. So what I'm gonna do now is just go back through the colours one more time just to re-intensify them. So I'm starting off with that Love shade, and I'm just going to pop that through the very deepest part of the crease again, especially that inner corner, because I want that to be nice and intense when we cut the crease. And then I'm taking that whispering shade and just adding that back in. To be honest, this shade has kind of disappeared with that Tan shade because Tan is so bright, like a super bright orange. But I'm just going to re-add it in so there's something between the dark kind of purpley brown and the orange. I'm now going to cut the crease with my good old micellar water and a cotton bud and just go along that socket and remove most of the shadow on the lid apart from that very outer corner, so I want that to be nice and dark. And now I'm just going to fill in that area using my P. Louise base and the skinny concealer brush. If you are new to my channel, this is a brush from a brand called Makeup International, the writing scratched off. I actually got this in my college kit, so a long time ago, and I could never find the brush online, but any kind of really flat synthetic brush is perfect for this. I'm now taking that dark Love shade again, and I'm just going to kind of touch up this edge just so this little bit of the eye is kind of like blended out, and then the inner part to be super sharp. I'm just going to spritz a flat shader brush. This is the MAC 242 brush. Just as a quick FYI, if you are kind of new to my channel or if you haven't picked up along the way, I do have MAC products from other brands that I can't think of the top of my head that aren't cruelty free that I bought years ago or like a long time ago, and now I'm just being more conscious and not purchasing new products that aren't cruelty free, if that makes any sense. So you can see like here, like all the writings rubbed off. I've had this brush for years. Just as a heads up, because I will kind of mention in tutorials about brands being cruelty free and that kind of thing. I'm just trying to be more conscious about it, but I will from time to time use MAC products that I have already purchased before my decision to be more cruelty free conscious, just as a little heads up. A disclaimer, I guess. So I'm going to spritz this brush with a little bit of setting spray. just because I want the lid shades to be super intense. So I'm going to start off by taking this beautiful shade which is called Angel, which is like a corally gold shade. It's really beautiful. And I'm going to pop that in just the very inner kind of section of the lid. The shadow almost like moves when you put your brush in it. I don't really feel like I needed to wet the brush, and this would be a good eyeshadow topper shade, but we will layer it up. Okay, that's super beautiful. You can definitely layer this shade up, but I think it'd be really good to go over the top of other shadows. Yeah, that is so pretty. This would be a really nice inner corner highlight as well, which I might use later. Okay, I'm also going to spritz this brush again, which is the PC52. Slightly larger, but also a very good flat shader brush. I highly recommend Peach's brushes if you haven't tried them before. They are so good, and I feel like they've really thought about like Instagram makeup artists in mind rather than just doing generic makeup brushes, if that makes any sense. So now I'm going to take the shade O'Clock, because in the palette, I don't know if I mentioned, I can't remember if I will mention like later, but they kind of correlate. So you've got Tan, O'Clock, Whispering Angel and that kind of thing across the palette, which is quite cool. So I'm taking the shade O'Clock, which is a beautiful shimmery coppery orange kind of colour, and I'm going to pop that in this blank space here. Okay, this one is definitely very glittery because I'm struggling to like pick it up on the brush. It might be better applied like with your finger, but my nails are way too long to try and do that, so I'm just going to have to keep working with this. Okay, got something. It's got the same texture as like the Morphe glitter topper shades in their big palettes, where it's incredibly shimmery in the pan, and then you don't realise when you dip your brush in, the shadow like almost moves, like it's got this like cream to it and it's full of glitter, so it's better to like put on top of other shadows, which is a bit annoying because I feel like you don't tend to realise that until you go into the shadow. Okay, I'm going to switch up the shade. I'm going to take the shade Smoky Eye, which doesn't look like that glitter kind of shade, which is right here. So it doesn't look like it will have that same texture, if you can kind of see the indentations I've made from trying to get it on the brush. I just want to send well wishes to everyone. I've just got a BBC News notification that says that UK records 1,325 deaths within 28 days of a positive COVID test. Good luck everyone, and please stay safe. It's really, really sad. Okay, sorry, I just really felt like I had to mention something. Okay, I'm going to take the shade Smoky Eye, which is this warm coppery bronze shade, and pop it in that space, just because this kind of coppery shade isn't really doing much for me right now. So I'm loading up my brush, and I've got a really good amount of product on there with that shade Smoky Eye. Okay, that's much better. I think what I'm going to do is put Smoky Eye on there and then pop the O'Clock glitter on top. Okay, I just wish that I knew it's more of like a glitter topper kind of shade, because look at that shimmer. Like, that is gorgeous, and that's kind of what I wanted. My camera keeps cutting out. As I was saying, that's kind of what I wanted from that O'Clock shade. I wanted it to be super intense and almost like foiled, but it was definitely more of a topper, which is fine. Now I know kind of what colour it is. Okay, I'm just lightly tapping that into that Angel shade so it kind of like blurs together, but this shade is gorgeous. Food shopping just came and I had half an eye on. I'm sure the postman's seen worse. Postman? I'm sure they've seen worse than one eye on. Just taking a tiny bit of love again and just deepening up the outer corner. But yeah, happy with that. Don't forget, it's nearly halfway done. I'm now just going to pop on a wing with the Morphe Ink Felt Tip Liner, just kind of using that tape as a guide. I'll let that kind of dry for a second. I'm just going to peel off the tape. Like so. I'm now just going to pop a little bit of the P. Louise base underneath the lower lash line. Can't believe I never used to prime my lower lash line and always wondered why shadow never lasted. Duh. Okay, I'm just popping a little bit of the base on the brush and just going underneath the eye. Then I actually want to put some purple on the lower lash line. So I'm going to start off by taking this shade, which is called On, which is this really beautiful, like warm purple, if you can get a warm purple, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to take that right here on this kind of small flat shader brush and just line my lower lash line with that. So I've just loaded up the brush and I'm just going to pack that on the lower lash line. I'm sort of pushing it into the lashes as well so there's no gaps later. I'm trying to do this in the best way so I don't block the light. Sorry guys, it's going to be a bit dark while I do this. I'm going to kind of blur this out. I'm going to take a little bit of this pink shade here called Day and another shader brush from Morphe. It's just one of the, I think it's from Pride collection. And I'm just going to use this to blend out the purple a little bit. We're going to have concealer on that area anyway, but it just stops the lower lash line being like super harsh. Then for the waterline, I'm going to go in with the purple. I'm taking the NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a Turn On, very long name, eyeliner. This is in the shade Purple Blaze, and it is a purple eyeliner pencil. And I'm just going to pop that in the waterline. I actually love this look, you know. Now I'm just going to go ahead and curl my lashes. These are the Shein eyelash curlers. And I'm going to pop on some mascara. This is the Revolution 5D Lash Mascara. I used this the other day. It's actually really good and it's definitely worth the hype if you want like super like thick dramatic lashes. I'm going to be putting on falsies anyway, but just as an FYI, this is a really good mascara. Then for lashes, I'm going to pop on these ones from Pound Lashes. They were, I think they were just above £1, I think, because they're the premium range, but I will link them down below and you can see the price for yourself. They're super cheap and they're foaming, amazing. So I'm going to take the style 4D Obsessed, which are really cool, look right up my street. They kind of flare at the outer corner, they're super fluffy. So I'm going to go ahead, pop these on, do the other eye, and I'll be right back. So I just realised I missed a step, so here's the eye look. I'm loving it. But I'm going to take the shade Angel again and I'm going to pop that right on the inner corner as my inner corner highlight. I'm going to wet the brush a little bit. Yep, a beautiful inner corner highlight. I am now going to go off screen, do the other eye and come back. I mean, actually, I start my shift in 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and do a 5-hour shift, come back and film the rest of the videos. I'll see you in a moment. So I am back. I have finished my 5-hour shift. It is about 6 and a bit hours later and I've obviously done the other eye, and this eye has been on my eye for about 6 hours, so you can tell it lasts a long time if anyone was curious. So now I've done the other eye, put my lashes on. I am literally obsessed with this look, loving it. It's like sunset, beautiful shimmeriness, don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I am loving this look. So now I'm going to jump onto the face. I've taken a few different mixtures of products. So to prime, I'm going to take the Revolution Pro Hydra Matte Primer, and in my last video I primed using this Peaches brush and I loved putting on my primer with it, so I'm going to use this again. This is the Peaches Makeup PC16. Just taking some splodges onto the brush and then just going to blend this all over the skin. Feels so nice putting it on with the brush. For foundation, I'm going to be taking the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. This is in the shade 40W. Why I have used this before. I actually did a testing video where I took it to Thorpe Park. It's a bit of a random video, but is it roller coaster proof? Who knows? I will link that video down below if you are interested. It's a very random video, but I'm going to pop this on all over the skin. My hands always pick up tan the most, but I feel like this is going to match, so we'll give this a go. And I'm going to pop it on to the skin using my Morphe contour and highlight sponge. It looks like it could be a good match. Just going to dab that all into the skin. I'm now going to put on some concealer. I'm taking the Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 120. This is very light, so I'm going to use a sparing amount, but we're going to be doing some cream bronzing and contouring anyway. So yeah, that foundation doesn't really add much coverage. It's like a medium coverage, like it's evened out the skin tone really nicely, but I definitely need some extra coverage. That's where this is going to come in handy. Just popping some on my chin, in the centre of the forehead, and then of course under the eyes. I just put some around my mouth and I don't really know why I did that. There we go. I'm now going to blend it out with the same sponge, of course. Now I'm going to do some cream bronzing with the Makeup Obsession Quick Stick in the shade DO2. This is very warm, so it's more of a cream bronzer on me, but I am going to pop it in the places that I usually cream contour, so just like along the cheekbones, along the top of the forehead, under the jaw a little bit, and then yeah, and then I'm going to blend it out. I'm not going to put this down the nose because this is super warm. And then I'm going to blend it out with my favourite like brush for blending out cream contour, which is the Zoeva 110 Face Shape brush. This brush is so good for blending out cream bronzer or cream contour. It will come together, I promise. I know what you're thinking, this looks awful, but we'll get there. Pushing that into the hairline. I've definitely put on way too much and I look ridiculous. Let's just pretend that this didn't happen. I think I remember now what happened when I used this last time. I didn't realise how dark and intense it was going to be. Not even, actually no, do you know what? It's not even dark, it's just incredibly warm. Okay, I'm just going to literally stipple over this whole mess, and then I will take my beauty sponge, which has excess foundation on it, and just basically just go over the top of it so it will peek through. I'm just going to take my beauty sponge, which should have some excess foundation on, and I'm just gonna, oh, that's a bit too much. Okay, this face makeup needs some work. Just gonna go, what is happening? Fine, that's the thing with makeup, you can fix it when things go a little bit wrong. The products are fine, I just put way too much of that stick in. I was just way too heavy-handed. I literally just needed a teeny little bit. Just keep dabbing that all around, it will blend it in. Yeah, there we go, it's starting to look a little bit more normal and less stripy and orange. Now we're moving on to pressed powder. I'm actually going to take the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder on just a fluffy brush and just put this all over the skin. The only thing I hate about loose powder, it's just so messy. Now I'm going to bronze up the skin using this brush from Carla Products. I'll link it down below. It's a new brush I'm trying and it's super soft. And the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm just going to bronze up the kind of outer section of my face, basically where I put that cream bronzer stick, and then I'll just dust it across my nose as well. And then for blush, I'm going to take the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach blush, which looks like this. It's very beautiful and it was one of my favourite blushes for a long time, and I'm going to pop it on with this brush also from Carla Products. It has a bit of a sheen to it, but it's not super shimmery, so I like it. Just like adds a nice like healthy glow to your skin. Then I'm going to set all of this into place, and I'll also take a little bit of the powderiness away with the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Mattifying Longwear Makeup Fixing Spray 16-Hour Wear. It's a very long title, isn't it? I'm just going to spritz my highlighting brush with a little bit of the setting spray just before I do my highlight. And I'm going to be taking the I Heart Revolution Shimmering Highlighting Powder. This is the banana one. I just feel like it will go nicely with the look. It's kind of got some pinky tones and then some normal like shimmery tones, champagne-y shimmery tones to it, so I thought it could be a nice blend. I'm just going to go all into the highlighter and then just pop that onto my cheekbone and then at the tip of my nose as well. Ooh. Oh, that is popping. Revolution, honestly, just do the best highlighters. Best highlighters and primers, I think, are Revolution. I know it kind of highlights the squareness of my nose, but I just like the way it looks. Love that highlight, it's so nice. It's super affordable as well. Check it out. I'm now just going to pop some mascara on my lower lashes. Now to finish off with lips, I'm going to take the Peaches and Cream Praline Lip Liner. And then to finish off, I'm taking a liquid lipstick. Now, I feel like my lips are a little bit dry, but we're going to give it a go. This is the On Mute liquid lipstick from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It came in one of their like holiday gift sets, but I'm sure you can still get a similar shade. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this is highlighting all the dry areas, but it's a lipstick that I have chosen. And this is the finished makeup look. I'm not gonna lie, when I did my liquid lipstick there, oh, got some on my teeth, there was like a bit of loose skin and I decided to pick it and like ripped off a whole bit of skin, like fresh skin. And it's a bit gross, but I thought I'd let you know in case you're wondering why my lips don't look smooth. That's why. Overall, I'm completely obsessed with this makeup look and like, I just feel so like inspired at the moment. Like, I'm really excited to film. I'm absolutely loving this look and I can't wait to like take a photo and everything like that. But yeah, I absolutely loved this palette. This is the packaging, which looks like this, the like holographic design, which is nice. It's not like too much or too boring. It's like the perfect kind of hybrid, I think. Like, it's nice and simple but effective. And then obviously this is what the palette looked like inside, if you kind of missed that throughout the video. Not that you would have, because I did show you in the intro as well. But this is what the palette looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous, and as always when I do kind of palette videos, I always spot like other combinations that I want to try later on. I also just tuck my nose into a shade. Oops. As I was saying, I also want to use the shade Brunch up here, which is like a beautiful like khaki gold shade. That looks really, really pretty. I could do that with the brown. I actually have been saying I want to do a khaki look for a while, haven't I? I feel like I've mentioned that a few times. I'm going to plan a khaki look. I'm going to add that into my planner. But yeah, I absolutely love this palette. I definitely recommend it if you're into something for smoky eyes. This would be a great palette, and you can do so many looks with it as well. And this is the look that I came up with, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I definitely had a lot of fun with the shadows. That shade, what was it called again? O'Clock, the one right at the top here, just as an FYI. This would probably go on better with your fingers. I can't use my fingers just because I've got these huge nails on, but that would be a really beautiful like eyeshadow topper. I've just realised I forgot to actually use it as an eyeshadow topper, but I'm still obsessed with this look anyway. Just as a heads up, that shade Angel is stunning. It's an inner corner highlight, and this shade here, which is called Smoky Eye, gorgeous, like just so creamy, shimmery beautifulness, and the mattes performed amazingly, so you can create a lot of looks with this palette and I highly recommend it. I will have links to it down below, and don't forget you can get 10% off with my code shivonmakeupbiz on Sample Beauty. This video isn't sponsored or anything like that. I didn't get sent this palette in PR, I bought it myself just as a heads up, but my code is an affiliate code and just helps me out and it helps me to grow my channel basically. So yeah, this is the look that I came up with. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I don't know how many of you actually stick around to the end, so if you have made it this far, well done and thank you so much. Please leave a comment down below letting me know kind of what videos you want to see from me or anything like that, or just let me know that you watched to the end. That would be really cool. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to be alerted when I upload a new video. I'd really appreciate it. Follow me on my social media channels. I'm shivonmakeupbiz on everything. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time. Bye. Which is a really skinny, fluffy blending obsession. Deotic. What?